What's popping off, y'all? This is the Dr. Greenthumb Podcast. I'm Dr. Greenthumb, a.k.a. Be Real, with our special guest, Shantel Jackson, up in here. And my co-host, E-Zone. What up?
Hey, guys.
Hey, thank you for taking the time to jump in with us. We know that, in these crazy times, people are wrapped up in what's going on and putting a lot of energy and effort into speaking up.
Yeah.
And going in and demanding justice on what is happening right now. So, we thank you for taking the time out, because we know everybody.
Well, I honestly appreciate the opportunity, because there's so much going on right now and people are canceling things left and right. So any great opportunity to talk about what's going on and what I have going on is great right now. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, and you definitely have a lot going on. I mean, a model, an actress, an entrepreneur, an advocate, activist. I mean, you wear a lot of jackets.
Yes.
Did it all start at was BET like the first thing? Was that like the first start?
With Nellyville, you know what? I have always kind of dibbled and dabbled in wanting to do acting and things of that nature. So growing up, I went to a technical arts high school where I learned all of the background of screenplay writing, and I did the television news, and we shot skits and things like that. So it's always been something that I wanted to do. So with doing Nellyville, which is reality, honestly, it was a difference for me, because with acting, it's, you have your lines, you have your script. With the reality, it was a different type of
Is it really that uncut? I always look at reality shows and wonder, oh man, there's got to be some kind of storyline where they're this is going to happen, and you have your natural reaction. I always wonder about that.
Honestly, for us, it was what we were dealing with at that time. So we did, of course, it is set up to where we're going to have dinner at this time, and this is what's going on. But when that camera gets to rolling, it's still real in that sense of, this is what we're having to talk about, or this is what we're sharing. So, and I don't know, sometimes you can try to hold back, because it's do you really want people knowing all of this? But,
Yeah, I mean, doing the reality shows, it keys in on vulnerabilities that you don't normally show in dramas and all these different situations. And some of it is not necessarily, it's loosely scripted, right?
Yeah.
But they'll key in on a scenario you might be going through and say, hey, you need to talk more about this. And then
for sure.
From there it develops, right?
Yeah, for sure. So whatever we were dealing with, going through at the time, it definitely was amplified in the sense of, okay, let's hone in on this. But it wasn't just, let's make this up just outright, So.
Do you feel it opened up more platforms for you after that? And even the ability and opportunities to go into the TV show, other types of TV situations.
You know what? I feel like it broadened my audience, because Nelly has such a broad audience. So it put me in the light of people who still back him to this day with his music, those diehard fans. And he really had some diehard fans. I feel like he's locked into that, I don't even know if I can call it a niche, but those people who really supported albums and music and concerts. Other than what's going on right now with the pandemic, he is booked and always busy. So
yeah, I mean, he's got massive hits that are timeless classic joints.
Yeah,
they weren't the fly by night
Yeah.
And you know, to his credit too, is that he put a lot of the fucking work in where, you know, people hit a certain level of success and they sort of sit on their hands because they feel like they got it.
Yeah.
And he never struck me as a dude that sat on his hands, always with the shit going.
Yeah, for sure. Like always working. Like I always have to tell him, like, are we taking a break? Like, are we going to do a vacation, not a work vacation? But I definitely take that from him. Like his work ethic is like no other that I know. Like overseas, US tours, like he's always on at festivals, and that's definitely a blessing for him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, y'all must bounce the energy back and forth, like, you know, inspiring each other with each other's work ethic, you know.
Yeah, I definitely learn a lot from him, just being a better people person. Like he's such a people person, a person pleaser. And I take those things from him because being a business owner, you need that. Like you want to be personable, like having products and things of that nature. Like you want to be relatable as well. And I take so much from him in that sense.
It's a social business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you in regards to you studied film. You studied film, right?
No.
You didn't go to school for film?
Well, okay. So in high school, I went to a technical arts high school, and I studied what they had there with film and television production. So I did in high school, but that was about it.
Okay. I mean, when I was reading up on you, it said that you had a study in film, and I wanted to ask you, like, how different was it? Because I have friends that, you know, are film majors as well, but like their passion for writing and the creation of it is not, you know, it's not the same passion as like maybe like somebody that's like in front of the camera. And like I'm usually somebody that has to be in front of the camera and like talk and stuff. But right. I always wonder because I can't get into those shoes. So which one do you like better?
I love being in the camera better. I went to learn the behind the scenes because I wanted to be in front of the camera. So I felt like, you know what, I want to know what it takes to do all of that. I learned editing and all that other stuff, which is so beneficial for me now because I chop up and I edit a lot of my own videos.
Plus, that Kanye uses got everything, like beats, everything, samples. I rap now, we good.
Yeah, so it has helped me in the long run with learning the things I was not so keen about with wanting to be in front of the camera. So, you know, sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do initially to get to where you want to be, or I don't know.
That's very well put. I wanted to get that perspective because I always get confused with that too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, man, I was like, did I skip steps? You know, like you're like, do I have to go to school back? Do I have to go back to school or something?
You know what? Sometimes some people just got it, or some people just don't. Like some people don't even go to school for film or even take acting classes or things of that nature. And it's just second nature to them, you know? So
yeah, I think you're right. I think some people have that natural ability. And if they do go to a class or you know, get instruction from someone,
it's an added benefit.
Yeah, it's an added benefit. And some of us actually need the work, you know what I'm saying? We got to go really work on it. But yeah, you know, I think there are those special cases in every aspect of whatever you do, whether it's music, it's modeling or acting and shit like that. Some people just have that natural ability and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
God bless them. Fuck, you know, some of us got to work at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, aside from all the modeling and everything else, you became an inventor as well, right?
Yes. That's, you know, I love wearing that hat for sure.
That's a prestigious hat.
Yes, I definitely take pride in that because it's not something that anybody can just do at the flip of a dime or just wake up out the blue like, you know what, I'm going to do this and probably nobody else has it. I don't know. It's just, I take pride in this and I worked on it for years and I got my patents and I launched in December, for those of you who don't know. So this is my product that I invented. It's called Shoe Gummi. And what Shoe Gummi is this outer sole pad, and it goes on the bottom of a woman's high heel. And you guys don't have this problem.
No, I used to sell women's shoes, you know.
Oh, so you definitely know. Like, women, we will buy shoes no matter how bad they hurt our feet, but why not want to wear the shoes and be comfortable at the same time?
This is something that like there's only 2 accessories that were available whenever I would sell shoes, and like it'd be the easy sell because it'd be like, you don't want to slip in those heels, do you?
Right.
So like,
right.
What does this exactly do?
Okay, so in this photo, this is the bottom of a high heel, and you can see the gummy attached to the bottom. And what Shoe Gummi does is it tilts the shoe back slightly, so it takes a lot of that pressure off the bottom of your feet. And with doing that, you can wear your high heels for a longer period of time. Your toes won't slide forward, and you can also walk more comfortable in your high heels.
Because that is the thing, right? The flyest shoes hurt the most.
Hurt bad. You know what? Just fly shoes, women's work shoes. I get a lot of customers who are on their feet like 8, 9, 10 hours a day in a office, and they're required to wear high heels, and they love and rave about the product. And I don't know, you know what? I came up with this product being obsessed with high heels. I would wear high heels just in general, no matter if they were hurting. I was just taking that pain for what it was. But just coming up with this and being more comfortable, to me, it's just a sense of, it's a game changer. Like, you know what? I'm gonna be at this party, or I'm gonna be out on this date. I have a girls' night out. I'm not worried about my feet. And those are issues that women deal with, or women wear shoes just to pop them on and go sit down and be cute. Instead of just popping them on, now you can wear your shoes and stand up and be cute all night. How about that?
Guys appreciate that.
Right, that part.
Yeah, that way, you know, it's like you're not chained to a table or chained to a seat. And you're like, oh man, my girl wants to sit down. Like,
right. No, for sure. It's a thing.
So how did it feel when you got those patents and that inventorship certificate that they sent you? Because I mean, you know, growing up, it's maybe something that came to you late. Maybe it wasn't even the first thing that came across your mind on what you wanted to do. But I mean, that is a big thing, especially, you know, being that you came up with this yourself.
You know what, growing up, I would never think that, oh, you know what, I'm going to be an inventor when I grow up. It just came as part of my lifestyle with wanting comfort and something that I was obsessed with, you know? So with initially getting this patent, first of all, it was so much, I can't even say trouble. Like, it was so much.
It's a lot of adversity, right?
No, okay, yeah, that's a better word to use, because first it was 2.5 years just from filing it to getting it. But through those 2 years, it was months of back and forth rebuttal with my patent examiner, because there are currently so many things on the market or in the patent database that can put on the bottom of the shoe. And you were talking about it earlier with the non-slip things that you put on the bottoms. So I had to go back and forth with a rebuttal about that. And we're like, it's not even the same product. And they call them obviousness objections. So it was like between 6 months to a year of just back and forth to get this accomplished. And then I finally did it. And now I'm still working on what they call design patents, because my design of my product is finalized. So
yeah, and it's from you, like you originated it.
Yes.
And that's the thing, you know, people need to get up on that game, you know, in terms of like when they create something, you go for the patent and the design patent, and then obviously the trademark, and don't let someone get your shit before you, because a lot of people they end up starting from behind. They'll start some shit and not think about all those other vehicles like the URL, the website for the particular product or the store that you're going to make for it, and all that stuff.
You know what? I always tell friends and tell people, just with anything you want to do your research, no matter what it is. It can be the smallest thing. Even if the market can be so saturated with something, how can you make yours different? What is going to be your niche with this? I'm not saying don't do it, because it's 1,000 clothing lines. It's 1,000 companies that have lip glosses, but how can yours be different so you stick out? You know, I feel like that's really important right now. Yeah,
you got to have distinction for sure.
Yeah.
You know, from your brand, product, all that stuff. Because, I mean, people will knock some shit off in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And won't give a damn about the hard work and the years of everything you've put into it. And like you said, not give a damn.
Yeah. So obviously before things shifted into where they are now, we were in a quarantine for some time. How were things for you in the quarantine? Were you able to do any work from home, or was it just lounging?
I initially worked from home. Other than having the option when quarantine started to really go out and sit down to eat and really be out and be places, I work from home. Right now, I am my customer service. I ship out product. I drop them off or get the trucks to come pick up my shipments. So in a nutshell, I am a homebody. How it has affected me with, of course, orders and numbers being lower than previous months before all this started. And of course, that's understandable. People are out of jobs. People aren't going anywhere. But I still have to shoot content. I still want to keep my company afloat,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, with as many people that were fired or laid off, because of the pandemic. Yeah, I think every industry, took somewhat of a hit in terms of their numbers of products moved, with the exception of obviously essential things that people need, like, the groceries and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
everybody's taking a hit, like the music industry. Nelly, he is taking this opportunity to be in the studio right now, like working on new music and things like that, because there is no concerts, there is no tours. So he's definitely taking the opportunity to be in the studio with time that he normally does not have for him being on the road.
Yeah, I hear that. I think a lot of artists right now would be, I would assume that a lot of us are taking the time to like get in the studio and be creative. And, we're either, being creative and doing what we do, and we're, just carrying on as artists, or, a lot of us are saying, you know what, we're going to talk about what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's, any artist that's in the studio right now, it's either they're just carrying on an extension of what they were doing, which is cool. Because I think, people need a variety of different styles of music, because it can't all be this information, jammed down your throat. I think people got to feel good. So you need feel good music. But I also think that, people want to say something. So
yeah,
I think you're going to hear a lot of that. Do you know if he's going in that direction, or he's just making music, vibing?
He's doing both. He is, I've heard a couple of songs that's more of a anthem type of message thing for like a lot of what's going on right now, and then vibing and feel good music. And I think it's a good mix between, you know, people who want to still turn up and vibe, and then people you want to get a message across to. So, do
you plan to make an album?
No. I'm gonna leave that up to him. Like that's not my thing. You know, I'm gonna leave it up to myself to my branding and my products, and that's my little avenue. So I'm gonna leave the music up to him. I think he does pretty good at that. So
what about, since you're talking about focusing on your brand, and I understand what you mean when you're like a one-man team, because, you know, I have my e-commerce on my merch, and I do everything single-handedly. You know, it might not be on the same level, but do you see yourself getting a store now? Like, you know what I mean? Like eventually in the future? Because I've thought about that as like a business. I'm like, oh, that'd be so cool. But then I saw people get their businesses destroyed, and I was like, I'm cool, fam.
You know what? I do pretty well online. And then what I initially sell between my 3 products, I don't think I need like a storefront. But yeah, you know what? I don't see myself getting a storefront. What I do see myself initially is being in actual stores. So that is a goal of mine. Once things clears up, once I start to do better numbers again, and once I incorporate different SKUs with at least my product, Shoe Gummi. So right now we only have one size, but that one size fits at least between 5 to 7 different shoe sizes. Because shoes are made so differently at the bottom in so many different companies and by different countries, this one size can get away with a 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9 to 9.5.
Has this experience inspired you to like create any other stuff? You know, because like coming up with your own product is like, you know, it's not a lot of people really have that as it is. So I'm like, are you like, well, let me see how I can perfect the whole high heel experience for women out there?
You know what? My goal with having this company is to have a whole umbrella company of foot care products for women, whether it's for like foot creams, toe separators. I don't have any, but toe separators are things you put between your toes. Even guys can wear them when your feet have been all bunched or crammed up in your sneakers or in your high heels. And what these do is they go between your toes and they stretch out the ligaments, which help against bunions on the side or crammed feet, or I know you cross over and stuff like that.
These are like things that I probably have never given thought about.
You know what? A lot of people don't. And with having a platform or just social media in general, like you bring awareness to these problems. And some people are like, oh, you know what? I do have that problem, or, you know, I might benefit from that. So
you gotta have healthy feet, goddammit. That's for
healthy feet. Yes. Healthy feet. Sure. I know guys can appreciate that, unless, you know, some guys don't care if girls have.
When you mentioned that whole thing, I just picture that when you wear like narrow shoes and your toe, I'm like flat-footed, so you have your fucking toes bunched on the you know, on the top, and it's like I should have stretched those out.
Yeah, you know what? You can actually get some online. I'm telling you, some they're called toe separators. You might not care, you're a guy, but I don't know. You might think about it one day or see it in the store. You might just want to get it.
Shit is looking all like that, like you said.
No, I mean, when you wear narrow shoes, man, it happens. And you know, because you're flat-footed too, man. So it's like you probably get it. That's why we wear those like shoes with like the wool in the front that has a lot of freedom with the Adidas. You know, it has like
the space.
Yeah, it's just,
yeah.
Hey, so before we actually started, you know, we were talking about like, you know, some of the stuff going on right now, and you were talking about you know, you had friends that you know had shops that got burned down, and you know, there's been protesting, you know, since this whole thing started, and they made an announcement that finally charged the other 3 guys.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah. Do you think with them charging these 3 dudes, that people will, you think that they'll be cool with that, or do you think they're gonna keep on protesting for a while?
You know what? I can't say what somebody else will be cool with, because it's so much that has gone on. But with them being charged, I feel like it brings a sense of, look what we have done.
Like they've been heard, like we've been heard.
Right, with the togetherness, like other than the looting, just with the peaceful protests, like just everywhere in the world. Like I was amazed, like Paris, like really shut it down. Like it was thousands and thousands of people in their streets, like rooting just for what's going on and what should be right. And just George Floyd's life has erupted the world to see all of this and to come together and protest for this one situation.
I think his name, came at a time where people were like, you know what, how many more names on this list do you need to have before you recognize that there's a fucking problem, right? And people were just, I think, we've had it, right? It's something that those of us that live in those communities that have witnessed all these things that we've talked about throughout the years about police brutality and racism and all that stuff in the Latino and African American communities. We've been saying it for so many years, and media would never really go hard on showing any of that, because it was always meant to make the law enforcement look good, and as opposed to calling them out on their shit when they're wrong.
Right. Well, now I feel like everybody has a television in their hand.
Exactly.
So it's you can't hide it. And then how do you do it when everybody is recording you? Like, how dare you? How dare you do it anyways? But you're recorded now. Everybody has a phone. No matter who. Little kids have phones. It's crazy. With everything that's going on, you can't turn a blind eye. It's right in your face. And everybody has erupted to come together, which is amazing, because we are stronger together, whether it's all Blacks, like you were saying, Latinos. Like, guess what? We are all the minority. We stand strong together because it's happening to all of us, Yeah. Like we have to be one. Just even with the protesters, look how many protesters versus the National Guard and the police. Yeah. You can be overrun if these people really wanted to do that.
And they were fearful of that. That's why they called the National Guard, because they really couldn't control the situation. People had enough. Yeah. And that better be the indicator right there for them that they need to deal with this shit off the top. And that is like rooting out these cops that have anger issues and that are racist.
Right.
However, they got to root these guys out and hire new folks and train them different and how to deal with people different, and where to place certain police officers that they will work within the community and work with the community, as opposed to, police it in the sense that we got to, control and put fear in these folks. You know what I mean? Because
he was just watching that video with the police officer and George Floyd, he was just way too comfortable doing that, even with people's phones out. Yeah. Like, that was crazy.
Callous.
Right. Like, just way too comfortable. And how is that protocol to put your knee on someone's neck?
You know what's crazy is the fun that you say that, right? Is that you know, they all have a certain training method that's in their manual, right? That they're taught at the academy or at the county jail, depending if you're, you know, an LAPD or a sheriff, just for instance, right? And it seems to me that that particular move is something they teach you that's not on their books. It's like having a chokehold that's not legal. Like when they banned a certain chokehold, you know, because it killed someone.
Right.
And there's certain things that they teach each other that's not necessarily on the manual, because, like, you know, the other day when they were showing the looting that was happening on Santa Monica Promenade, you know, sheriffs and Santa Monica Police Department came in right there at the promenade, and they started grabbing people up that were looting. And the first thing you saw was two officers jump on one guy, and he had his knee on his neck. And the television, the CNN or whoever it was, they panned away from it real quick. And then when they panned back on it, he had gotten off of that guy's neck. But
yeah,
it's a natural go-to move that these dudes have. And
honestly,
right
I don't understand that, because that putting your knee on the back can be far differently from your neck. What, like, I don't know, like what bones are in your neck to protect the pressure that someone's putting on this flesh other than your back? You have your ribs, or it's encased. I don't know. That's crazy.
See, that the question that they have to say is, you ask, is where did that move come from and who approved it and why are they using it? Because, like, that's the way he killed this guy. And then, you know, like during a looting situation, and they took a dude who was running and they put him to the ground. And then you see that same move that caused this whole shit happen there. Now, you know, again, CNN pulled away so that they didn't show that. So it didn't put that particular police officer and his partner in a bad light, because eventually, like when the camera panned back onto him, they were in a different position with his knee off of him. You know what I mean? They had him subdued and all that stuff. But initially, if you blinked your eye, you wouldn't have saw it, but it was there. And what that says to me is that that's something that's in their training, but it isn't necessarily in their manual to do this shit. Like, there's certain things that they're allowed to do, you know, given the situation, and certain things that they have to absolutely stay away from, like certain chokeholds and things like that. So where did this knee on the neck shit come from?
Right.
And why has it been overlooked for so long until now?
Yeah.
Because that's a dangerous move right there. Like, we've all seen it.
Yeah, clearly.
And, you know, it's a form of control, obviously, the police officer to whoever they got down. But that is like one of the worst fucking things that you can do. It's humiliating on top of that, as well as dangerous to a person's life.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I really hope that they don't fucking try to spin this and fuck this up and let these dudes go like when they let these dickheads go on the Rodney King shit in '92. I mean, that let the city.
They would really be stepping in some shit, because look what's already happened. And if you let that cop off with far less than what he needs to get, and then those other three cops, they are really starting a war.
Yeah, it's going to be like, for sure, you know, you're going to need to call more than the National Guard if that happens.
Oh, yeah. It's, they can call it, I don't know. It's definitely going to be.
Because think about it like this, right? The riots in '92 started after, you know, the verdict. They didn't start at the beginning when people started seeing that footage of Rodney King getting beaten, you know, by these cops, right? No one did shit until after these guys got acquitted, right? And that sparked everyone. Motherfuckers rioted like right, you know, like almost right after when, you know, the homie died and they didn't do shit but take him and put him on vacation for a couple of days. I mean, that's before a fucking trial.
Yeah.
So imagine, you know, when the trial happens, if they fucking drop the ball on this, I mean, you know, it's not going to be good for us down here. I mean, in the United States.
Yeah,
they need to get this right.
It's no way. I would be like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody will be, and
for sure.
God willing, they get this shit right, and they serve justice properly and start getting it right.
To me, they have to, like, things have to be set right, and wrong is wrong and right is right, and people need justice. Just not even just George Floyd, like, he sparked this whole thing, but it's so many before him that still haven't gotten justice because they've gotten away with it. And now it's like, no more. No, like.
I think that's what people don't get about this. They look at just some of the people that are uninformed or they don't give a fuck. They're just looking at his situation and they're not looking at the history of that systematic racism within law enforcement that causes the deaths of people of color in the communities that some of these cops should not be on their patrol. They should use other cops that have better rapport with people, yet they put these guys in there with violent histories. Some of them have fucking pretty violent histories. If you looked at the report on dude after the fact that they arrested him and all the complaints that had been put up against him and the reviews against him and stuff like that, they keep putting these guys back in places.
Right. Like how does it get so far when he's had so many complaints, you know?
Yeah. And that's what they got to fix. You know, they definitely got to, you know.
Like, you can't just, it's just so many in the police department that turn a blind eye because, one, they don't care, or who did he get these complaints by? Were they minorities? Were they blacks? Were they Latinos? Or were they not white? You know?
Yeah. And the crazy shit is that sometimes when you go complain about a police officer, they're acting like they're taking your complaint, but they're really not.
Yep.
They start asking you questions. Well, can we see some ID? Who are you? Where do you live? Where are you from? What do you do? And all those questions when you came in there to complain about, you know, this police officer or that one. They flip it and spin it and, you know, start acting like you're the one that did something wrong. And you know, that just goes to show that they've covered for each other for so long. But that shit has to stop. Like, I thought that the police chief in Minnesota, that what he said was big. If you're silent, you're complicit, meaning those other three bastards were just as guilty as homie because they didn't do shit.
Right.
And that's saying that any cop that sees that type of shit going on, you're a part of the fucking problem if you're stopping it or doing something about it.
Exactly.
I thought that was big, but let's see if they build on that, or they go back to where they always go to. I don't think they can afford to, because see they're outnumbered out there in the streets when people get angry.
If you think people are out in the streets now, not getting justice for what has been done, you are really creating a ruckus.
Yeah, they got to fix it, and you know, they need to do what's right.
Yeah,
what's fair and just and shit like that, man. And I think they're seeing the ugliness of their ways right now, and it could get uglier. This was just like this was like a real quick boil. Just, you know, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah,
you know, as crazy as that sounds. And as much shit that has happened, you know, since this started, it could be a whole lot worse. And, you know, it's up to the it's up to the bozo in the top office you know,
him
to
and
figure out
the
what
lawmakers,
to do. Yeah.
to change things, these
Right.
police departments,
Budgets.
yeah.
Those people there in those seats that make these laws and deal with their employees in said state and city in terms of who they choose as people with badges with the license to kill.
Yeah.
Right? They need to fix their system on who they empower there with that and how they're accountable. You know, so they got some big decisions to make right here, and we're all gonna be watching.
Yes, for sure. It's such an important moment in time to witness and be a part of, whether you are out there protesting, whether you are signing petitions, whether you're donating, anything for your voice to be heard is important right now. And that's something that I posted on my page the other day. Like, if you're not a protester, that's okay. You can sign petitions. You can make phone calls to the mayor. There are so many numbers to call. You can write letters. You can write emails to voice your opinion. It's so many ways your voice can be heard right now.
Yep. Yeah, you can create platforms and voice your opinions there. You know, there's so many ways to get involved, and I believe that, I think more people are going to take time to be more involved because now they see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's you know, unfortunately, sometimes that's what it takes, you know, crazy shit like this to happen. And it wakes a lot of people up.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening right now.
I'm kind of glad you mentioned that you know, you do something to make your voice heard, because there's a lot of people out there that they're like, oh, you're not protesting, you're against it. Oh, you didn't post a little black square, that you're against it. And I'm just like, dude, I just don't want to go out there and get shot with a rubber bullet. You know, I was like, oh, let me donate.
Yeah, like, some people want to voice their opinion from the comfort of their own home, and that's okay. Like, at least you're doing something. If you're just turning a blind eye, you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to see it.
Yeah.
And, you know, but I think, and I think that's the other thing is that, you know, a lot of this fear is created by instigators that infiltrate, and they try to cause this disruption to cause a reaction, such as, you know, the police dumping on the protesters, you know, and causing this crazy reaction and this violence, and you know, people get fearful and don't necessarily want to go down there and voice their opinion because they think they're going to get caught in the shit.
Right.
You know, you don't know what's going to happen. But I think, you know, the other day when the numbers just swelled up in the streets pretty much everywhere, down here in downtown Hollywood, and all, you know, there was so many cities, I think, in Brea and
West Hollywood.
Yeah, West Hollywood, everywhere. There was a swell of people that came together, protesting peacefully. And, you know, that was big because nobody caused any fucking crazy problems at those events. And everybody sort of conducted themselves with calm and with the right energy. Yeah. And I think we need more of that.
No.
But, you know, at the night, obviously, that's when all the craziness starts, because then, you know, we're all wearing masks right now in a pandemic. So you you don't really know who's next to you unless you know who's next to you. And some of those guys might be the ones starting all the shit to create that fear so that people will not come down. But I think it worked in reverse. More people came down, and they're like,
even more people are standing up to looters. Like, yo, don't do that.
Yeah,
you're defeating the purpose of the message and this cause right now, and that is true. Like, people that are looting, you know what? I can't say how somebody should be mad or how they should feel, but looting is not the answer, because you can be looting this small business owner's store, and they're not getting any money like that right now. Like, look what's already going on.
Yeah, it's like you're taking jobs away from people at a time they needed it the most. You know?
Right. Even these bigger stores that they're looting, you're taking jobs that these stores were just going to open up. So that person who was working in there, those people, they probably live in the same community you live in, and now they don't have a job.
Working middle class or lower.
Right. Like, I had so many conversations with friends of mine, and they were on the fence about some things, like, you know what, some people think looting is the way, and those people have insurance. And I'm like, you can't say what somebody has.
Not everything.
They probably couldn't pay their insurance payment last month, and now they don't have insurance this month, or their insurance doesn't cover looting in the fine print. You can't say what somebody has or what their insurance is going to cover.
Yeah, and some people don't have insurance at all.
Right.
No, you don't know. You can't be in somebody's pockets because you don't really know who and what they are. You can assume because of where their shit is positioned, but you don't really fucking know. Exactly. And I think that was definitely unnecessary. But I can understand everything else. The desperation, because like you said, people are out of jobs. They don't have shit. Yeah. And some are there to get what they need, and others are there for the opportunity to take more than what they need and take advantage of, and that's fucked up. But that's what happens when they are not hearing our voices down here and what's going on, beyond just the brutality, the lack of opportunities out there for people. They need to fix a lot of shit. Oh, man, we could go on for days.
I know, we sure can. There's just so much going on, so many different aspects of what's going on, who's being affected. And then, of course, we got the pandemic that's already, so.
It spiked, by the way. Like, I don't know if anybody's been keeping up with that.
Yeah,
everybody lost sight of that shit real quick.
It has.
That shit has
it's like the protests and the rioting and the looting happened, and then it's like, oh, what happened to the virus? Did it just go away? Clearly not, because we do have a spike. So
they're gonna have to deal with that shit. We all are.
Yeah,
we're all gonna have to deal with that. We're going backwards a little bit, but you know what? People were willing to sacrifice that to be heard and to get justice, and unfortunately, some of us are going to pay the price for that sacrifice.
Yeah, they sacrificed us, too.
You're healthy, man. Get out of here. Shantel, I wanted to thank you very much for taking the time to jump on with us. And,
I want to thank you guys because, like I said, it's so many people either declining or they're just not taking interviews like they did. And I got to talk about my product, Shoe Gummi, as well. And also, before my business partner kills me, I'm sorry. So right now, I developed a exfoliation sponge with my business partner. And this is for guys and women. So if you shave, you can use our firm exfoliation sponge. And what this does is it gets the dirt and debris or your hair stubbles out of your skin before you shave. So you get a closer shave. And for women, you can either use the soft or the firm sponge. And with exfoliation, I'm big into beauty and I love wearing makeup. This is not an issue for you guys, but with wearing makeup every day or every other day, you get buildup, you clog your pores, and exfoliating is really important because one, it gets a lot of those dead skin cells off of your face. It unclogs your pores, and even it can eliminate acne. And with the beauty products that we use after we wash our face, you want to get the most benefits out of those. So with exfoliating, you're allowing your skin to absorb your creams, your moisturizers, and your serums even better. So.
Right on.
Do you guys shave?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think I'm gonna need to send you guys some of these so you can try these out. Like we have a lot of guys buying these right now, honestly, and they are raving to us that they're getting less hair, hair razor, hair stubble, what is it called? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ingrown hairs and things of that nature, because they're exfoliating their beard area or whatever they're shaving before their actual shaving. So
yeah, we'll have to try that. And when all this craziness goes in, you'll have to come in and we'll do a proper one down here.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely for that. But I want to definitely send you guys a gift set with these, or if you have a girl, a lady friend, we can get all that out to you guys.
Definitely. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram as Miss Jackson. That's MISS Jackson. Twitter is MS Jackson. Even on TikTok, that's Miss Jackson 007. To get these products, you can go to shoegummi.com. That's SHOEGUMMI. And you can go to mychicbeauty.com for these amazing exfoliating sponges.
Right on. Thank you. And good luck with all your endeavors, and keep pushing.
I'm hungry. Make sure you go check that out. It's on BREALTV YouTube now. It's the first time we ate that much sugar, which is not good for you at all. But I haven't felt like that since I was 10. So that's interesting to watch. And it's out now. And there's a lot of new merch and exotic snacks on my website. So you can check that out at highandhungry.shop.
Word up. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. Stay safe. Be safe. Don't be stupid. And, smoke that good always. All right. No boof diet. Peace. And we'll see you next week.